Have you ever wondered how obesity can impact health and just how severe this issue can become? As we chart the journey of human civilization, we encounter a growing concern: obesity. This isn't about a few extra pounds. We're talking about excessive, debilitating weight gain that poses severe health risks. The global landscape of obesity has evolved drastically over time, transforming from a rare occurrence to a widespread issue. Today, we delve into a timeline of the world's heaviest people, from the earliest recorded individual to the most recent. Let's turn back the clock to the 19th century, the time of the first recorded fattest person. This title belonged to a man named Daniel Lambert, an Englishman who tipped the scales at a staggering 739 pounds. Now you might be wondering how one could reach such an astronomical weight. Well, Lambert's lifestyle was far from what we consider healthy today. He was known for his excessive consumption of food and drink, and his sedentary lifestyle only exacerbated the issue. But it wasn't just his weight that made Lambert a figure of fascination. At a time when obesity was not as common as it is today, Lambert was viewed with a mix of awe and curiosity. He even capitalized on this attention, charging spectators to view his massive frame. However, his size also brought him health complications, including difficulty moving and breathing. The medical understanding of obesity was limited in the 19th century, and Lambert's health was no exception. His weight was seen as a curiosity rather than a serious health issue. This lack of understanding, combined with Lambert's own disregard for his health, led to his early death at the age of 39. Though the health implications were serious, this record was just the beginning. As time advanced, so did the scales. The 20th century saw a significant rise in obesity rates. This was a time when larger-than-life figures began to emerge, their stories capturing the world's attention and sparking conversations about obesity and health. Take, for example, John Brower Minnick, an American man who, at his peak weight, tipped the scales at an estimated 1,400 pounds. His weight-related difficulties led to him being hospitalized multiple times, and he eventually passed away at just 41 years old. On the other side of the Atlantic, we had Carol Yeager, who was recorded as one of the heaviest women ever, with an estimated peak weight of 1,200 pounds. Despite numerous attempts to lose weight, Carol's life was cut short at the age of 34 due to kidney failure related to her weight. And who could forget Robert Earl Hughes? Touted as the heaviest man in history at the time, Hughes weighed an estimated 1,060 pounds. His size was attributed to a thyroid problem that led to his excessive weight gain. These stories are not just about the numbers on the scale. They highlight the physical and emotional challenges these individuals faced, and the growing medical concerns related to obesity. The 20th century saw advancements in our understanding of obesity as a health issue. Doctors and scientists started to recognize obesity not just as a result of overeating, but as a complex interplay of genetics, environment, and behavior. It became clear that obesity could lead to severe health problems, such as heart disease, diabetes, and certain types of cancer. Yet, despite this increased awareness, the number of people affected by obesity continued to rise. Factors such as changes in diet and lifestyle, coupled with a lack of access to healthy food and opportunities for physical activity, contributed to this steady increase. The 20th century brought a deeper understanding of obesity, yet the scales kept rising. Welcome to the 21st century, a time of unprecedented obesity rates. This era has seen some of the heaviest individuals ever recorded, with their weights tipping the scale at figures that truly boggle the mind. But it's not just about the numbers. Each of these individuals has a story, a life marked by struggles and challenges related to their weight. In the early years of the century, we saw figures like Manuel Uribe of Mexico, who at his peak weighed close to half a ton. Then there was Khalid bin Mohsen Shari of Saudi Arabia, who once weighed over 1,000 pounds. Their lives were not just about the weight, but also about the health complications and the limitations that came with it. But the 21st century is not just about highlighting the extreme cases. It's also about understanding obesity in a new light. Today, we recognize obesity as a complex, multifaceted issue. It's not simply a matter of eating less and moving more. It's about genetics, environment, mental health, and so much more. The health issues tied to obesity are legion. From heart disease to diabetes, from joint problems to sleep apnea, the toll on the body is immense. But the cost is not just physical. The psychological impact, the stigma, the discrimination, these are just as real, just as damaging. Yet, in the face of these challenges, there is hope. The modern era has also been a time of increased awareness and efforts to combat obesity. From medical interventions and lifestyle changes to policy shifts and advocacy, the fight against obesity is being waged on multiple fronts. And amidst these efforts, we see inspiring stories of individuals who have battled their weight and won, who have turned their lives around and inspired others to do the same. They remind us that behind the statistics and the headlines, there are real people with real struggles and real victories. The modern era has given us a clear picture of the obesity epidemic, but the battle is far from over. So, what does this all mean for our health? Obesity, especially severe obesity, has significant implications for our health. It's not just about the numbers on the scale or the size of the clothes. It's about the toll it takes on our bodies, our organs, and our overall well-being. Let's take a moment to look back at some of the individuals we've discussed earlier. These were not just the heaviest people, but they were also people living with the health consequences of their weight. Each of them, in their own way, illustrates the health challenges that come with obesity. The heart, for instance, bears a tremendous burden. It has to work overtime, pumping blood through a much larger body. This increases the risk of heart disease and hypertension. For someone who is severely obese, the heart is perpetually working as if it's running a marathon, but without the associated fitness benefits. Then there's the risk of diabetes. Our bodies are designed to process a certain amount of sugar. When we overload the system with excess food, especially food high in sugars and simple carbohydrates, we risk developing type 2 diabetes. This condition can lead to a host of other problems, including kidney disease, nerve damage, and even blindness. Beyond these, obesity increases the risk of a multitude of other health issues. From sleep apnea, which disrupts our sleep and leaves us fatigued, to joint problems from carrying around extra weight. It can even affect our mental health, leading to conditions such as depression and anxiety. These health risks are not hypothetical, they are real, tangible, and severe. They are the daily reality for many of the individuals we've discussed and for millions of people around the world. But it's not just their problem. It's a problem that affects all of us, directly or indirectly. The bottom line? Obesity is more than a personal issue, it's a public health crisis, and it's one we need to take seriously. These health risks are real and severe, affecting millions worldwide. Facing the reality of obesity's impact, what does the future hold? This is the question that has been echoing in the minds of many. As we stand on the precipice of the future, it is apparent that the battle against obesity is far from over. Yet there is a sense of optimism that permeates the air. In the current landscape, we see an increasing emphasis on dietary changes. More and more individuals are becoming aware of the importance of a balanced diet, rich in fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains. There's a growing trend of people turning away from heavily processed foods, loaded with sugars and unhealthy fats, towards more natural, nutrient-dense options. Alongside this, there's a surge in exercise initiatives worldwide. From local community programs encouraging daily physical activity to global campaigns promoting active lifestyles, the importance of regular movement is being highlighted like never before. It's not just about hitting the gym or running marathons, it's about incorporating activity into daily routines, making movement a part of life. But perhaps the most promising development lies in medical interventions. Researchers are tirelessly working on innovative solutions to combat obesity. From new medications and surgical procedures to breakthroughs in genetic research, the medical field is making strides towards understanding and addressing the complex issue of obesity. Moreover, there's an increasing focus on the psychological aspects of obesity. Recognizing that it's not just about the physical, but also the mental and emotional factors at play, there's a push towards a more holistic approach. Mental health professionals are working alongside dietitians, physicians, and fitness experts, providing comprehensive support to those battling obesity. Yes, the path ahead is challenging. Yes, there are hurdles to overcome. But the collective efforts of individuals, communities, and medical professionals are making a difference. There's a palpable sense of hope, a belief that we can turn the tide. Though the scales have tipped, the fight against obesity continues. The future is in our hands. Let's take hold of it and stride forward towards a healthier, brighter future.